Peace, and welcome to the Spiritual Gems podcast, where we perceive reality with a higher mind and share gems along the way. I'm your host, DJ, and today I have a special co-host for this episode, Artis in the building. Say what's up,
Peace,
Artis.
peace, everybody. Peace, everybody. How you doing?
Glad to have you. So, just a
Thanks.
brief introduction of Artis. So, Artis is a good friend of mine. He is a clairvoyant medium and a dream interpreter. Um, Crazy story how we met. We actually met through a cousin of mine, Elevation 44, in a clubhouse grouping during the pandemic. And it was crazy,
Right.
like a bunch of us kind of hit it off, and we've kind of been in contact ever since, which is wild.
Mm,
But
right.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing how your soul family just kind of how it just comes together naturally in the craziest ways. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
trust me, folks, this brother is super tapped in. Definitely someone who I lean on and hit up when I have one of those dreams and I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like, I don't understand this. He just gets to it, and it's just so easy for him to break down and all that. So the brother is very, very talented. So please tap in with him. So thanks again for doing this episode with us, man.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you. Thanks for the kind words too. I appreciate
Most definitely, nothing but the truth.
that.
So artists' dreams, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people dream, some don't, obviously, but dreams are some of the weirdest kind of experiences I think that you can have in the human experience, right? Because, a lot of it doesn't make sense. It kind of can get real strange and freaky and scary and weird, and it's just like there's so much unknown about it. And so I'd imagine a lot of people want clarity on like the purpose of dreaming and stuff like that. So, you know, what do you think is the purpose of dreams, and like what does that serve? What is this purpose that it serves in our lives?
Well, you're right. And not a lot of people do dream. Some people just can't dream, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Uh, and how I view dreams dreams is ruled by your subconscious mind. Um, and your conscious mind and your subconscious mind are kind of a battle. I like to say this. I like to kind of they're family, but they kind of hate each other in a sense. Okay. So your
Okay.
conscious mind wants to tell you things, wants you to see your waking life almost like a lie. Um,
Mm,
it's afraid, your conscious mind is afraid of the truth. The conscious mind is afraid to address things that you need to address, right? But your subconscious mind, it wants to be healed, right? It wants to address situations that happen to you in your now or in your past, or even situations probably going to happen to you in your future. It wants to address these things head on.
mm,
So when you are sleeping and you're dreaming, your subconscious mind will, like you said, you might have some dreams and where it's just like crazy. It means nothing. You're like, this, what does this mean? Why is there a chicken with his head cut off holding a pitchfork? Like, it makes no sense to me. But it
mm,
makes sense to your subconscious mind because your subconscious mind will put codes so your conscious mind doesn't know what it's trying to relate to you. You know what I'm saying? It
right.
tries to put it in some type of code. You have to decode it when you wake up.
Mm,
Because if you, let's just say, an example, let's just say you had a terrible childhood, it was abuse. If
mhm.
you had a dream where it's just always abuse in your dream, it just replay that over again. Your conscious mind will, when you wake up, you're like, oh, it's my past, forget whatever. I'm just gonna let it go, right? I'm not going to address it. I'm not going to seek therapy. I'm not going to talk to my spirit guys and try to get help. I'm not going to heal from it. I'm just going to throw in the back end and let it go. But it's going to continue to eat at you for the rest of your life, right? And that might
Wow.
affect you with your own kids, right? So your subconscious might put uh, codes within that dream in order for you to figure it out. And people always ask me, like, how are you able to interpret people's dreams? How I'm able to interpret your dream?
Mhm.
And the simplest fact is that I'm just tapping into your energy and just watching a dream with you. I mean, that's all I'm doing. Simple as that. And I think I said this in my podcast. That's all I'm really doing. I always tell people whenever they tell me a dream, send me in a voice message. Don't text it to me. I need to hear it directly from your voice because I'm just tapping into your energy and I'm just
Wow.
reliving that dream for you. So as you're telling me, I can view that dream with you to let you know exactly what's going on. And I'm kind of can hear exactly what your subconscious is trying to tell you. I can hear that. So like, okay, I know what your subconscious is trying to tell you. I might not know
Ah,
in full detail what the situation is, but I can tell you this
right.
is what it's trying to say. I don't know the details from the beginning, but I'm telling you what in the middle where your subconscious is telling you. So that's all I'm doing. And I
That's
should be
fine.
asking. Yeah, I should be asking people more like, hey, do you mind that I tap into your energy? I just don't do that. Usually I just say send me a voice message and I just tap into your energy without your permission. So I apologize to anybody that I've ever uh decoded your dream for you. I apologize for not asking first.
I'm sure I could speak just about for everyone would say we give you permission as soon as we're like, yo, I need your help with this green. So that's the
This is
permission that
true.
we needed. But that's what's up. Thank you for explaining that. And that's really dope. I didn't realize that's how you're able to kind of like feel and assess the energy by
Mhm.
feeling us out, hearing our voice, and it's easier for you to tap in that way. You're not just
Mhm.
looking at it as just a symbology and just breaking down the symbology. So it's coming from a higher gift that you have, which makes sense because like you being clairvoyant and that kind of speaks to that in a way. It's all sort of connected. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Yeah. So that's
Exactly.
dope.
Exactly.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Um, so there are some common dreams that I think most people kind of experience, right? Can you explain the interpretations of common dreams? Like, people feel like they're falling off of a ledge or being chased by something. I hear that all the time. I'm being chased by a monster or something is chasing me, or even flying. What can you explain a little bit about that? Like, why are there so many common dreams?
Yeah, so when you have common dreams, it's usually just built on a lot of fear that you have in your life. Um, so if you're falling, you're afraid of something, somebody's chasing you, you're definitely afraid of something, right? It's and it's usually people who have really common dreams. It always deals with their career,
Mm,
right? Or school if they're in college or something like that, or even high school, or even personal relationships, right? If you're like, oh, I'm constantly in water, but I can't swim. It's like, well, you feel like you're drowning, but the person that you're with is making you feel drowned. Well, they're
mm,
keeping you underground. They're keeping you underwater, right? They're killing you slowly. So then you got to
wow.
also look at that, right? So it's usually just things that are usually people or just work life or you're afraid of because you don't know what you want to do with your life, like you don't know what you want to do with your career and or stuff like that. And so common dreams happens with a lot of people. I mean, I don't see it's just something you should address, but the most things you definitely want to address fully is ones that uh, your subconscious is kind of screaming at you when you keep having the same dream over and over again. That's when you need to listen. All right. And when you start to have those dreams where it can get violent, right? That's your subconscious pissed at you, right? Really upset with you, saying, hey, listen, I've told you this many of times. I'm not telling you again, right? It's like we need to address this situation now. Okay.
Wow.
And I use this one of my friends, she had a dream. She came to me. She's another medium, and she's like, I just can't. I don't understand what this dream. And I said, what happened in the dream? And it was first. It started off with this guy who, and I hope she doesn't get mad that I'm using her dream. Um, but I'm not gonna say her name. But it started off this guy that was very violent against other people. She was in the street, and this guy was like beating people up, and he was like this real mean guy. He was keying people's cars, breaking their windows, doing a lot of stuff, punching people in the face, doing some weird stuff. But when he got near her or he walked past her, he was calm. He didn't attack her. He didn't do anything. He seemed like he was just a regular person,
Mm,
right? And then as soon as he walked away from her, that's when he became violent again, right? And I asked her, so how did you feel around this guy? She's like, I didn't feel any fear. I didn't feel anything. I felt like he was just a regular person. And I was like, and I didn't know this about her. I said, were you married before? She said, yeah, I was married. I said, you're divorced. Yeah. Your husband used to be that way. She said, yeah. I was like, that's what your dream is trying to tell. Your dream is you're still having some trauma from your marriage. and you haven't addressed it yet, and that's your subconscious mind is pissed at you because you've been how long, she's been divorced for like 6 years now and it's still constantly happening. She hasn't addressed her marriage, right? So it's
Yeah.
stopping her from moving over to the next relationship. So,
Oh,
but
wow.
also, you might have a dream where you might be attacked by an animal, right? That means really nothing. What I think that means is that's your subconscious mind just being pissed at you, like I said, of you not really addressing the situations where it put forth. Because your subconscious might put little things in your dreams here and there over and over again, right? And then all of a sudden, if you're not paying attention, it's going to send a wolf to bite you in your leg or something like that. Because when you have these crazy dreams and it's violent, that's when you start to pay attention, right? That's when you like,
Mhm.
man, what the heck is going on? I just got bit by a wolf. What's going on? Why do I feel? Why did I just get bit by? You know what I'm saying? That's when it's going to
Gotcha.
make you pay attention, right? So that's it.
Ah,
Mm.
that makes sense. So it's about grabbing your attention and making sense of it. Okay. What about dreams where you're like falling? What does that usually represent? I know that's like a super common one.
Something is drowning,
Okay.
falling. In a sense of falling could be a lot of things, right? If you're falling, it can feel like I don't know if you've ever been skydiving. If you ever go skydiving, well, I've never been, but I've heard like
Never.
it feels like it's going really slow, but it's
Mm.
also going fast,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So that could be a pinpoint in your life. It's like I feel as though my life is going slow, but it's too fast for me to catch up to it and try to get it straight before I hit the ground.
Mm.
So that's the understanding where I got. Some probably other dream interpretations. Interpreters might have a different aspect of it, but that's my
That's
meaning.
your take. Okay. Cool. 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 All right. And what about flying? People will feel like they're flying in dreams. What's that about?
Honestly, to be 100% truth, I've never heard someone say they were flying. But I
Really?
don't see. Yeah, I never heard someone say they were flying. But when I hear the word flying, I don't hear it as a negative thing. I hear
Mm.
it as a freeing thing. So something might happen to you, and you finally let go of it, or you washed away with it. You had a dream when you're flying. It's not a bad thing unless you're in control of the flying. Right, that's a good thing. Right, it's like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
free. Like you're a bird. Right, you're like I'm a free as a bird. Right,
Yeah.
so I see it
Okay.
as a good thing. So anybody who has been flying, I don't look at it as a negative thing. That's a great thing, something
Okay.
that you've overcome something.
That's what's up. Because I've definitely had dreams where I was flying. I either had like a bird's eye view or I'm like landing into like I'm floating into somewhere. And
Mhm.
I believe that that's an astral travel, possibly. And we'll
Mhm.
dive in a little bit more about that later.
Yeah, we
Um,
can
I,
astral travel
I
is something different.
yeah,
That
that's
thing is
probably a
crazy.
little bit of a different feeling. But okay, bet. That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay, cool. So my next question was going to be about nightmares, but I think you kind of touched on it, but maybe we could touch a little bit deeper on it. So what causes bad dreams and are there ways to prevent them? So I know you kind of talked a little bit about, that's your subconscious kind of screaming at you, like to pay attention to something
Mhm.
that you may need to heal or change, or we're trying to get you to realize. Um,
Mhm.
but how can you prevent them? That's a good part of the question, I think.
It's
If
great.
at all.
A lot of people should know before you go to bed, set some good intentions before you go to sleep, right?
Mhm.
If you're going to sleep and you're worried about the day, you worry about the next week, you worry about this, you worry about that, it's going to come up in your dream. You're in a panic before you go to sleep. Your body can't even be at rest. Like give yourself a chance. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Do a little meditation before you go to bed. Set some intentions that I'm here right now. I'm not going to worry about tomorrow because it's not here. Today is the present. There's no such thing as tomorrow. It's only the present now. So I'm gonna worry about today. Today I'm good. I'm just gonna go to bed. Everything is fine. I'll worry about it when it comes up. So set your intentions before you go to sleep. Stay away from real fatty foods before you go to bed. Like
Mhm.
stay away from a lot of salt, a lot of sodium, a lot of fatty foods right before you go to sleep. A lot of people just eat very late, which is fine because some people's work schedule is different, which is totally fine. But you're giving yourself a chance and wait an hour or so before you go to bed, before you eat or something like that. Or can you meditate or do
Sorry.
You gotta fly up and
Yeah, fly came out of nowhere. We're on the third floor. I don't know where that joint came from, but continue.
because you was fighting them ghosts. I was like, I said, you better bob and weave, you better bob and weave.
Yeah, yeah, man, Bobby Weed, Bobby Weed. Shit, we got the Palo Santo going in here. We don't
Yeah,
play
you
that
got
joint.
to.
We don't
Yeah, you
play that
got to. You
joint.
got to. Yeah, now you
Right.
got to hit that sage too. So
Yeah.
yeah, so just meditate before you go to bed. Set some
Okay.
intentions, and everything should be fine.
Okay.
You can't really stop them fully having bad dreams, but you can reduce the risk from having them just by doing those things that I stated.
Yeah. No, I think that's great advice. Um, my take on it, I think that obviously paying attention to your dreams and resolving the issue is probably something that will prevent the dream from coming back as well. You're probably not going to have it once you acknowledge the fact of whatever it is that you aren't facing or need to face and begin to process that. I'd imagine the dreams will stop. Um,
Mm,
because then again, your subconscious is like, oh, cool, yes, finally, you're paying attention to what we're telling you. All right, we don't need to
exactly.
keep sending you this dream with us throwing you out the window of the third floor of the third floor building. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's instantly. It's
Like,
instant. It's instant. Your subconscious will know instant when you address something and it's like, cool, let's forget it. And some people are like, well, I didn't have a dream, or you know, or the dream wasn't that bad. It doesn't have to be bad. I'm not saying your subconscious is going to be real forceful with you every time. It's not. It's going to put little
right.
things in there that you need to address. It might not be dire right now, but it's saying, hey, later on, you will need to address this. Right.
Mm, yeah,
Mm.
I love that. I love that. All right, cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So now I want to segue into predictive dreaming. Is there any truth to the idea that dreams can come from prophetic significance? There are people that have experience having dreams of like saying someone that their a family member is pregnant, so they'll dream about fish or something like that, and one of their family members are pregnant. There's many examples of predictive dreams, but what are your thoughts on that?
So, us being, beings on this plane, you have a spirit, you have energy, right? And the people that you're connected with, you're sharing energy. So
Hmm.
can you dream of something that can happen in the future that's happening now that you didn't even physically know? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm,
Uh, I know someone who predicted her mother's death, who knew her mom was going to die. She had a
oh
dream
wow.
that her mom was going to die, and the next day she woke up and the mom was had cancer. She told her I have cancer, and
Wow.
so it can happen from people that you're very very connected to, right? So I don't see it. I don't think that's impossible to have. When people tell me,
Yeah.
"Oh, I dreamt of this, I dreamt of that, of my friend or something," that's great because it means you're connected to them
Yeah.
fully. That's a great thing to be. It's a great thing to have people in your life that you're fully connected to. That your energy is entwined, right? Because then
Yeah.
you might start having dreams or visions or whatever like that of them to try to help them. So those people are very intuitive, and they just don't know they're very intuitive. A lot of
Hmm.
people walking around just very very intuitive, and they just don't know. They like, kind of ignore it, which is fine, but just
Yeah.
because they don't know, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not uncommon. I see that. I start to see that a lot actually. Starting to see that a lot nowadays. Ever since COVID, I'm starting to see more and more people being connected to their friends and their family. They're keeping their circle small, and they're building their relationship and strong with their friends and family and stuff like
Yeah. That's deep. That's deep.
that.
It makes me think that like, when we talk about this in spiritual principles or practices or whatever, like we all come from God or source, right?
Yeah.
Um, we are just different versions of source experiencing itself. And, as we come down from this light source and we begin to become fragmented or whatever, it's only when you get into this human experience, especially in the West, that there's this level of separation and individualism that happens, right? We're all separated by our political views or parties, religion, religious ideology, stuff like that, education, all of that.
Right.
It's just race. We are very separate when we come to this planet. And so I think that as you're talking about, we forget how connected we truly are just on a basic source level.
Mhm.
And you know, many of us are come from the same soul groupings, right? And soul families. So it's not impossible. I'm so happy that you mentioned sort of like this awakening that happened during the, you know, 2018 during the pandemic that really woke up a lot of people. And I'm, you know, be the one of the, well, not the first to say, but what I feel like we're on right now is another, well, I'm on the precipice of another awakening because I'm beginning to see people who weren't as aware of certain things. Now they're becoming more aware of, right? Like it's almost like our powers are being turned on and stuff like that. But that's besides the point. But initially it's just like, yo, there's and then there's this thing about there's only what is it, 6, 7 degrees of separation they talk about,
Mhm.
right? Where like you know somebody that knows somebody that I know, you know what I mean? Regardless of
Yeah.
where that is, right? Like even though there's
Mhm.
billions of people on this planet, like we're more
Mhm.
connected when we realize. So I'm happy that you brought that up. I think that's something that we need to begin to acknowledge more of as spiritual beings having a human experience. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
First. And sorry, now I'm about to go on a rant because I just thought about something. You know, it's interesting because I heard something the other day. You know, when we talk about the human experience, we typically think about what mind, body, soul, right? Or mind, body, spirit. And I heard something the other day that just really resonated with me. It should be the opposite. It should be spirit first. You know what I'm saying? Then the mind and the body. But it's like
Mhm.
we're everything that we've kind of been taught has been flipped around and just
Mhm.
goes against everything. So, anyways, I just wanted
Yeah.
to add that in there. But
Yeah. No,
great,
I agree with
great
that.
take,
I agree.
great take on that. Um, okay, cool. So, what factors influence whether or not we remember dreams? You kind of touched a little bit on this on like, you know, eating fatty foods before bed and stuff like that. But what else, what other factors can like hinder our ability to remember our dreams?
Remembering your dream is not something that you will always be able to do. Um, as simple as that. You know, some people might have a nightmare and don't remember when they wake up. It's just how you develop something. It's a skill. It's a
Mm,
muscle, right? Your brain is a muscle. Your mind is a muscle. So if you don't go to the gym, right, how are you gonna expect to have muscles? You're gonna be
right,
weak, right? So if
exactly.
you don't constantly use your mind and constantly try to develop that skill to remember, it won't happen.
Mhm.
You know, you're not obligated to remember every dream. You can remember some dreams, and some dreams you can't. It's a mystery in some dreams where you can't. And I've had some dreams where me personally,
Yeah.
where I can just tap into my subconscious anytime I want to, right? It's
That's fire.
that's that's
Or scary, one of the two. Depends.
right. You know, I've had some dreams where I wake up and I was like, I can feel it. I can feel the dream. It's like an echo, right? I can hear it.
Yeah.
Why can I can't connect to it? Why? You know, and there's
Mm,
probably a reason for that. It's probably a reason why I was maybe I'm not meant at this time to connect to it, to remember it. Probably later on.
mm.
You know, I've had dreams where I don't remember it, and then months down the road, I'm like sitting here at work or something like that, or I'm like driving to work, and I'm like, "Yo, my dream I had a couple months ago, I remember it," and I was like, that's what that's about, right?
Wow.
And that's how it happens, right? You're not going to remember every dream every time you wake up. You can, you know, but it's good to have that notepad next to your bed, and you wake up in the morning and you just write down everything you remember, you know, as soon as you wake up, everything you remember before your conscious mind starts to cloud it with lies, right? Because your conscious mind will lie to you no matter what. They're liars, right? They tell you something that you're not even like, oh, I see it's red, but my conscious mind is saying that it's blue, but it's actually red, right? You're like, I know it is, but
Hmm.
why does it look blue? You know, so it's you just write down little notes. Everything you see, everything you feel. Look, I always say, how do you feel? How did you feel in that part? You know, what did you see? Oh, there was a building. Okay. What did the building look like? That's the thing. You know, I think when you tell me your dreams, you always have buildings in your dreams, right?
Yep.
And I don't want to put your information out there. You always have
No,
buildings in
you're
your
good.
dreams, but you know, I don't even have to ask you, you know, what the buildings look like, because you automatically know that I have to tell him details of that building, right? So
Yeah.
you automatically tell me before I even have to ask you, because you didn't say it. I'm like, hey, what does that building look like? What does
Yeah,
that
yeah,
room look
yeah.
like? Every time you walk into a room, what does it look like? And
Facts.
it helped me understand what it means. So,
Yeah. Funny because I don't know what it is with me in hotels. In my dreams, but I'm always in a hotel somewhere.
no,
We've lost
no,
about
I
this
told,
before.
yeah, I think I told you. I was like, you have, it's, so your subconscious is trying to, um,
Compartmentalize.
yeah, it's very unique because, like I said, I do this with my mind in my
Hmm.
waking life, where if I need to remember something, I have, like I use filing cabinets in
Hmm.
my
Hmm.
mind, and I have paper written on the filing cabinet, so I kind of write down exactly what I want to remember. And
Hmm.
so if I need to remember, I just go to the filing cabinet B and look up elephants or whatever like that, and look up
Hmm.
what do they like to eat, and I just read it from there. That's how I organize my mind. So
Hmm.
your conscious mind organizes your mind like that. Your entire mind, not just your subconscious mind. It actually uses it for your entire mind, which is, like I said, is very unique because it keeps. I think it's like 3 times you had a dream. You told me it was like the same
Hotel.
hotel buildings. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. And
Different
like I
hotels,
told
but
you,
yeah.
those hotel buildings, and I told you now, when you first told me those hotel buildings, they were run down. But this last dream you told me, they actually looked way better, enough that you can
Hmm.
go in and look at it and
Hmm.
say, this looks good, right?
Hmm.
So that means your mind is developing, and it's healing from whatever happened before.
I think my subconscious is trying to tell me I need to travel a lot more. I think there's a trip in Mexico in my future.
Hey, it might be a trip in right down the road. You know what I'm saying? You could.
That's also part of it.
We,
I
we
was
all
like,
need that vacation. I need another one. I just had one recently. I need another one for sure.
listen, oh man, I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one. Beautiful. Thank you for breaking that down.
Absolutely.
Um, okay, cool. So, now I think we've kind of broken this down a little bit, but I'm gonna ask anyway, just for additional insight. Um, when we are having recurrent dreams, why do they keep repeating themselves over time? I think you kind of talked about that from the subconscious standpoint. But is there anything else that you want to add for the people that are maybe struggling with maybe facing those dreams, or maybe it's lucid enough where they can possibly try to change the result of the dream? Is that something that you recommend? What else can you recommend for recurring dreams?
I'm afraid to address a situation that's just you just being ruled by your conscious mind. You gotta take situations head on, and unfortunately, healing is not easy. It's as simple as that. It's not easy. It's never going to be easy. No one said it's going to be easy. So if you're looking for an easy road to healing, it's not going to happen. Then you might as well stay unhealed and continue to go through your life and just be unhealed. But if it's people who want to heal, you got to face them. If you're scared of roller coasters, but you really want to go with your family to an amusement park. Well, the only way for you not to be scared of roller coasters is to get into a roller coaster, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're having dreams that you don't want to, situations in your dreams that you don't want to address, then you're never going to get healed from it. You have to address it, right? You're going to continue to have them over and over again, right?
Facts.
And the situation if people are trying to change the outcome of the dream, like, are you saying, I'm trying to understand your question. Are you trying to say they're trying to change the outcome of their dream while they're
Yeah.
dreaming?
Yeah. Hmm.
Well, yeah,
Like if you're
that's only if you have.
lucidly dreaming, and
Say
we'll
that
talk
again.
about that. If you're lucidly dreaming,
Okay. I mean,
possibly.
yeah, I say. um, you can try to do that. It won't change anything. That
Hmm.
was just change the dream. It won't change anything in your waking life. It won't change your mood. It won't do anything. You, you want to address things in your waking life because that's what really matters. Your dream is just showing you something that you need to address in your waking life. So if you just address the situation in your dream,
You're good to go.
okay, you just
Yeah.
address the situation in your dream. You're still hurting on the out. You're still hurting when you wake up. When you open your eyes, you're in pain, right? So you
Yeah.
have to deal with that pain, right?
Yeah.
So addressing that during your dream, you can. Is it going to change your outcome in this life? it could make you have a better understanding. I would say that it will make you feel a little better about addressing situations, make you feel braver. Absolutely, it will do that. But changing it outcome, like if I change my dream, all of a sudden when I wake up, all my problems are solved. I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to lay a finger. Oh no, it's not gonna work like
That's not how that works.
that. It's not
Yeah,
gonna work.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
not
how
gonna
that
work like that.
works.
Unfortunately.
That's
Yeah.
funny because I it took me back to a dream I used to have like many, many years ago. I've had a few dreams, especially like in my teenage years, where like something was either chasing me or whatever, attacking me. And I was trying to fight back, but like my arm, like I couldn't move my arms to like throw punches or anything, right? And I'm like, "Arr!" And I remember like waking up, like halfway waking up, not sleep paralysis, but you're like coming up from the dream and you're like, oh, that's so frustrating. Like I wanted to fight back and I couldn't, so it kind of shows that sometimes you really just don't have control sometimes, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, with these dreams. So
Yeah, no
yeah,
dreams when you're trying to fight and you can't punch. Those are the worst
I know.
dreams. I hate
I'm like,
those
bro,
dreams. I'm trying
like
to
a
hit him,
Mike
and he's
Tyson
like
is
the
cool.
punches.
Roy. Ooh.
Right. The punches are so slow, or it's not strong enough, or he just sits there and like takes my punch. I'm like, yo, I'm hitting this guy with everything I got. And I've actually had multiple dreams like that before. And I actually woke up one day
Yeah,
and I woke up out of that dream and I punched my
yeah.
wall and like put a hole in my wall in my room.
Oh,
Like I was still
damn.
into the dream. I woke up just swinging and I punched the wall and it broke a hole. And I was like, dang, I was back when I
Oh,
was in high school, I think. Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
I got to tell this to my parents. It's not going to be great. They're like, how you got a hole in your wall? Right.
That's
So,
hilarious, bro. Yeah, that's how it
yeah.
be. That's how it be, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So since we mentioned lucid dreaming, for those who may not know what lucid dreaming is, can we explain what that is? And also, how can someone achieve lucid dreaming if they wanted to?
Lucid dreaming is basically just you being in control of your dream, like you knowing that you're dreaming, right? And the best way, how I do it, people do it differently, is to give yourself a word, right?
Mm,
A word that you would never say out your mouth, and when you're awake. Like
hmm
I have a word that I would never say out my mouth ever.
mm,
But when you're dreaming, your brain knows this word. So I know that if I say that word when I'm dreaming, I know that hey, this is a dream, and I'm going to have a little fun now, right? I'm gonna have a little fun, right?
yeah.
So I usually have a word, and like I said, I would never say it out loud because then I might think I'm dreaming. If I say it out my mouth, I'm like I'm dreaming, right? So use that word. Some people have a certain smell. I know I was talking to somebody and they said they use a certain smell that if they're dreaming and they smell a certain scent they would never smell and they didn't tell me what it was, of course. If they never smelled in their waking life, they know they were dreaming, and then
Oh, wow.
that's when they have a little fun with it.
That's
To
what's
get
up.
started, you just try to have those set those intentions that I told you about. Set those intentions before you go to bed. Do a meditation. Let them like tonight I'm going to dream and I'm going to have full control of my dream. I'm going to know that I'm dreaming,
Mhm.
stuff like that. It's not going to happen the first day. So people say, "Oh, I did it 2 days ago. It didn't work."
Mhm.
Of course, it didn't work. Of course, like come on now, it's not going to work like that easy. You got to keep working on it, right? You got to keep going every single day. It could be like a week or two, and you still haven't had results. Do it for a month,
Mhm.
and then you might have results.
Yeah.
Um, there's also games you can play uh,
Oh.
with people you're connected with, which is
Mm.
remember I told you people are connected with their minds, right?
Yeah,
Energy.
yeah, yeah.
So let's just say your significant other, right? If you guys are connected that on a level, you guys can be like, all right, great. Uh, let's have a dream. When we're dreaming tonight, let's meet here, right? And I'm going to give you a couple letters or numbers or whatever. I'm gonna say a phrase to you, whatever it is. And when you wake up, if you got that phrase or number or whatever it is, that's how I know that we were in the same dream, right? And so you just basically set that intentions before you go to bed with each other, though, you know.
That's
And
fire. I love that.
they can live with you, they can be right next to you, they can be cross state, they can be across the world. Doesn't really matter as long as you talk to them, as long as you guys are connected in that level.
Yo, that's fire. That's fire. You know what that
Yeah,
makes me
it's
think
dope.
of? You know, sometimes when you have dreams with like people, like, especially recurring dreams, or like sometimes a dream may continue from one night to the next. And you might have somebody in the dream and like y'all are like, ass kicking on the astral plane, like, you know what I'm saying, doing missions and stuff like that. That's what that made me think of, which is pretty fire that you could do that. Like, there's times when I've had, different themed dreams with the same people, and we're just kind of like solving things or figuring things out, or it's almost like we were doing missions together. So I like to
It's
think that on
dope.
the astral realm, we were doing
Yeah,
some work, we were putting some pain in, putting some work in. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. No, you were like
Yeah.
things happen in the astral realm that people don't even notice. People don't even realize the things that can happen. It,
Mm,
if you could actually fully tap into it and actually see it, the people who couldn't do it, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. It's something that you know it like I have dreams where I I'm being sent to a certain realm. Let's just say this, and in this
mhm,
realm, there's chaos always. It looks just like
mhm,
Earth.
mhm,
Everything looks the same, but there's always something happening. There's always
mm.
chaos. There's people jumping off buildings. And it's
Oh
like I
wow.
have to save them, and it's people being chased or people stuck. There's people stuck in the building. The building's on fire, and I have to kind of navigate them out of that building. They don't fully see me, but
Hmm.
I'm almost like I think people call it like a guardian angel in a sense. I think people call that. I'm more like that in that realm, and it's weird because I've always been in this realm since I was a child, and I never knew what it meant. And when I got
Yeah.
older, probably in the past like 4 years, it's so weird. I'm going a lot in detail, so forgive
No,
me.
please share.
So uh, before you're sent out to your little mission, I guess you would call it, you kind of sit in this whole area where there's a waiting room, right? And there's multiple people there. And I remember going to this restaurant where there's only one server there. Every time I've gone since I was a child, there's only been one server in this restaurant that is full of people there. And she's the only
Wow.
server. So I thought that was strange.
Yeah.
And I used to always go to a sit down at a table. And as soon as I walk into the door, I look to my left. There's always a booth there, kind
Hmm.
of further down the hallway. And I always sit at that same booth. And every time I sit down, there's a guy that sits down with me. He has a
Hmm.
bald head.
Hmm.
He always wears a red shirt. He has a
Hmm.
necklace. He has an earring in his ear. And he talks to me like we've known each other for years. And I've talked to him like I've known him for years. And it's
Wow.
happened so many times when I got older, I started to realize, like, heck, who is this guy? Why am I there? I don't know what's going on. So I
Yeah.
remember setting some intentions to myself. I was like, I need to figure out what's going on. So I was like, the only person I know that would understand what's going on is that server.
Hmm.
So I remember like setting some intentions before I went to bed. Is like, I'm gonna go talk to the server, see what's going on.
Hmm.
So I did talk to her, and she's like, wait 1 minute, step outside. I'll have somebody come out and talk to you. I'm like, okay, well, I gotta wait outside. It's weird.
Yeah.
Um, and so when I came, like when I was sitting outside, I'm just waiting, and there's people just walking the street, going to different buildings. This is weird, right?
Mhm.
Um, she comes out with a guy, and the guy has a suit on. I said, why you got a suit on? It's weird. Nobody else has suits on. You have a suit on. And he
Mhm.
tells me, you know, what the area, what I'm going to, and what this is all about. And there's a lot of things that he explained to me, and I cannot remember them.
Oh
When
man.
I go back, like I can go there now and listen to his voice, and as soon as he starts to tell me something that's very, very important, it gets mute. I can't hear. I can see his
Mm.
mouth moving, but I can't hear no words. So now that's information that I cannot know in this waking life. Is he told me something that I
Oh,
was not supposed to know,
got
right?
you.
That I can't. If I know, it probably could affect me deeply if I
Right.
knew exactly what he said. If I can bring this out here, it probably could affect me, right? So that's why
Wow.
I can't hear it. So very
Yeah,
strange things can
that
happen
is
in your
strange.
in the
Wait, so
realm. Is
okay.
crazy, man.
So you never got dude's name with the red shirt and the bald head? You never got his name,
Never,
huh?
never. And I'll always go back there. Like I just went there a couple, like, what's today? Saturday.
Today's
I went there
Saturday.
on Thursday. It was
Yeah.
Thursday night, and I went to bed. When I dreamt, I was there again. Same table, same guy.
Wow.
And he
That's
talks to me
crazy.
like he'd known me for years.
Yeah.
And and he has known me for years. I'm not saying
I
he
mean,
just talking to me
you're
like he don't
having
know
these
me.
dreams since you were a
He's known
kid.
me
Yeah.
for years. The server told me like, hey, you've been coming back here since you were a child. But it doesn't. I wasn't a child in that same building. Like I was always a fully grown man.
Hmm.
So it was very strange. Things happen into this world where I'm just saving people, which is insane. I have a
That's a
lot of
superhero when you go to sleep.
examples. Yeah, yeah.
Super
So
artist.
okay, so I just want to, if you let me, I'm just going to explain one of the dreams that happened,
Oh,
one of these
sure.
situations.
You share.
Okay.
Yeah. You share.
Um, so like I said, this place looks just like Earth.
Hmm.
Was told that these are the lower realms where things happen all the time here. Like it's just chaos all the time. Which, yeah. Um, so these guys is two buildings, right? These two skyscrapers right next to each other. Like one here and another one couple feet over to the right, right? They decided they wanted to jump from building to building, right? Because like window washers have those cranes that wash the windows on skyscrapers.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them, right? So these guys decided they wanted to jump, but no parachute, right? From building to building to try to get down to the bottom, right?
Mhm.
And for some reason, I'm up there and I'm just I know what's going to happen, but then I don't know what's going to happen, right?
Mhm.
So I'm just watching it play out, which is so weird, right? And I'm not scared. I'm not afraid. I'm just watching. All I know is that I'm just there waiting for something to happen.
Mhm.
One of the guys jumps. He's like the last guy. He was a big guy.
Mhm.
Like he like 400 pounds. Like I don't understand why you're doing this, right? He was a big guy. He wasn't that big,
Parkour.
not 400 pounds, but I'm exaggerating. He was a big guy. He decides to jump. He jumps to
Um,
the next one. It tilts, right? Because he's a big guy. Because after he lands, it tilts. He slides. He's holding on to their life,
oh
right? He's
man.
screaming. The other guys can't pull him up because they're on the next train. He's by
Yeah.
himself, right?
Yeah.
And then he can't hold on too long. He can't hold on any longer. And I know that he's going to fall. I know he's just going to let go.
Mhm.
So as he let go, I jump from the building and grab him. And the only thing I can remember doing is thinking in my head that I got to take the most impact from this fall.
Mm.
Like I got to take the impact. I literally got to fall before this guy and
Mhm.
have him fall on top of me in order to absorb all this impact. And when
Mm.
I did, and it's painful, it is not like something that can happen and I don't feel this pain. As I hit
Oh
the
wow.
ground and I absorb this shock of this heavy man and my body weight, plus the
Right.
height we were in, my legs are busted open.
Mm.
My legs are completely destroyed, and I can feel this pain. It's not like a pain that I would feel really happen in real life, but it's
Yeah.
a pain I can feel in my legs, right?
Okay. Okay.
Um, and then people are actually walking over to him, and that's why I know that it was weird because people was on the street. They walked past me to walk up to him to make sure he was okay, and I realized that they don't see me.
They
I'm
can't
not
see
really
you.
here, right?
Wow.
And so when that happened, I'm done. I woke up. It's over. It's over. It's done. The dream is done. He didn't die.
Yo, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's happened. People might watch this video and say this guy is crazy. Hey, call it what you want. Call it what you want. Say whatever you got to say. I
Listen.
know exactly what happened. So
No, that's fire. Shoot, the way I look at it, you a superhero in the other realm. You helping save their lives, man.
man,
People
it's
doing
it's
dumb
a
shit over
mess.
there too. Whatever
It's a
dimension
mess
and realm
sometimes,
you're
man.
at.
It's a mess sometimes, man. I tell you, sometimes I look and I'm thinking, and when I wake up in the morning and I it's like, dang, did that just really happen? And I'm like, how stupid was that person? Are you
Yeah.
dumb? Like, why put me in this situation? Why put yourself in this situation? You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right.
So it's a
Wow.
little crazy.
That's dope, man. Thank you for sharing that. That's
Word,
definitely
word.
interesting for sure. All right. So I think this is a great place to segue into our last question here.
Mhm.
Sleep paralysis. There's a lot
Yes.
of people that have experienced this, and for a lot of people, it's very scary because for some people, sometimes they'll see people in the room, or they'll just experience to the point where they just can't move, like they feel completely awake and they just can't move. Um,
Mhm.
what is sleep paralysis, and why do some people experience it when they are waking up?
Uh, my understanding of sleep paralysis is that when you're dreaming, and sometimes you astral project, your spirit is actually leaves from your body,
Mm,
right? And you cannot. I don't care who you are. You cannot freely go through the astral world by yourself. You can't,
mm,
right? You will get lost, right? You
mm,
might get attacked. You might get something that might happen to you. So you always have a guide following you through the astral
mm,
realm, always, right? There's also a tether that you're connected to your body. There's a white line that you're kind of connected to that helps you find your way back to your body, right?
mm,
So every time I've had sleep paralysis, is that it's when you are coming back to your body and your body's awake, but you're fully not in, right? That's why you cannot move. And that person that you see in your room is not a person that's attacking you. Because if that
mm.
person was an evil, I think somebody said, "Oh, that could be your sleep paralysis witch." It's like, did that person attack you? No. What did it do? It just stared at me. That's it. It doesn't seem like a person. It doesn't like something that was evil to me, right? Because
Mm.
something that was evil or witch, they will attack you. They're not gonna stare at you in a corner like they're not creepy. I mean, they are creepy, but not. They're gonna attack you.
From the human perspective, it seems creepy, right?
It seems creepy, right? And they
Yeah.
will attack you if that's what the case, right? So
Right.
that person that you might see is that person or spirit or whatever you want to call it that was guiding you through the spirit realm,
Mm.
astral realm, or whatever you want to call it, right? They were guiding you through it, right? That's why when you wake up, you're just staring and you can't move. All of a sudden, when you can move, that person is gone, it goes away, right? It doesn't
Mm.
stay in the room with you. So
Right.
that's my understanding of it. Some people say, no, it's evil things in your okay. Don't
Okay.
don't don't listen to the medium, right? Listen to your own thoughts. Don't listen to the medium, right? Listen to your own thoughts. So, you know. Uh
Gotcha.
something else
So,
too I want. Go ahead.
so basically, it's kind of like you come back. It's like you're not fully back in your body,
Mm-mm.
right? And so you haven't received full function and presence. You're just partially there. And
Uh-huh.
so you're in the state where you feel like you're ready to move and get up, but you can't yet because your soul is still on its way
Kinda,
back to the actual body. Your spirit is coming back to the body. Okay, gotcha.
uh-huh. It's trying to
That
connect
makes
together,
sense.
right? It's a whole process. It's not like your soul just leaves and it just jumps back in and knocks you up. Like that doesn't happen like that. It's a slow process, right? If not, things
Mm,
can happen, right? So it's a slow process.
bet. Wow. Man, artists, listen, you came through and you just dropped so many gems in this one. I really appreciate it, Your expertise in dreams, your skill set is crazy. Um, for the people out there who are looking to get in contact with you, to touch base with you, what's the best way for them to do so?
And you just send me a DM on my Instagram is artist intuit underscore intuit. You can send me a message there and I can get to it whenever I can. Most people do. That's how they can reach me. Just send me a DM.
Okay, cool. Cool, perfect.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to put that in the description as well. And what else do you have going on? Like, I think you mentioned a podcast. What else do you got going on?
Well, yeah. So I have my own podcast and I've been doing it for a while and took a break from doing it because I wanted to go on vacations a lot and just
Yeah.
focus on other things and having fun. So I know some people who constantly listen to my podcast always says, "Hey, where's your next podcast?" I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. I'm coming back. So I reach out to a bunch of good people, a lot of mediums. I want to get their perspective on it
Mhm.
because there's different mediums. Like they're not everybody's not always clairvoyant, right?
Yeah, right.
So um, I want to connect to other mediums and see how their life is and how what situations brought them to mediumship. Like
Mm.
what age did you realize you were medium? In any situations,
Mm,
any challenges and stuff like that. So I know I reached out to a bunch of them. We have dates set in the next
nice,
couple months, probably up to August, September.
nice.
And so these episodes will be coming out soon. And that's about it, man. I got that going on. I want to do some
Okay,
more live shows. I always do a lot of live shows every Thursday. Stop doing that, but I'm get back into doing that.
okay.
I like doing live shows. They're fun. People are funny, and it's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool. So yeah,
So people out there in YouTube land and otherwise, please tap in with this brother. You know what I mean? Like you could shoot him a DM, ask him a question. He's so helpful. He wants to help you. Pull up to his live on Thursdays when he gets back to it on IG. You can ask your questions there. He drops a lot of knowledge. Tap in with this guy. I'm telling you, before the prices run up. You know what I mean? What's that Joe be saying all the time? Yesterday's price is not today's price.
you're right. That's exactly what it
Tap
is.
in with the guy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, please make sure y'all, thanks so much for watching. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe for us as well. Artist's info will be in the description, and so will my stuff as well. I just want to plug as well. My readings are available. So purpose discovery calls, excuse me, which have been great. Done quite a few so far, and the feedback has been amazing. So for those of you who are trying to figure out, like, I have gifts or I feel like I have a higher calling and I don't know where to go, what to do, if that's the case, and you need more clarity around it, tap in with me, man. Link is going to be there as well, so you can book your session and, just continue to support the page and support us. We appreciate you. Artist, thanks again for coming through, brother. You killed it.
Thank
Salute
you
to
for
you.
having me.
Keep doing the
Yes, sir.
wonderful work that you're doing, and we'll talk
Thank you.
soon.
You too.
Peace, world.
Peace.